My oh my, how time sure flies. It seems like only yesterday I was finishing part 5 of the history of Mortal Kombat, stating that I expected Mortal Kombat 11 to be announced imminently. It took only 3 days for my hypothesis to be proven correct. It feels like only yesterday, but in all actuality, you and I were having that conversation 7 years ago. Mortal Kombat 11 arrived, it thrived, and it stepped aside for the launch of the 12th installment. Another live-action theatrical film hit theaters in 2021, and today, we await details on its sequel. Today, we're not worried about Mortal Kombat 1, we're not worried about the movies. Today, we reflect on what Ed Boon called the conclusion of the saga that began with Mortal Kombat 9. From Ice and Fire to Timequake Twins, from the Khan controversy to the Sindel Crashout, and from Inception to Aftermath, it's gonna take a while to traverse this tale of timelines. So flip your gigantic hourglass and watch the sand pour slowly. We've got a lot to cover here today. Welcome to the history of Mortal Kombat Part 7, End of an Era. Every video here on 616 Entertainment is made possible by my supporters over on Patreon. If you enjoyed the show here today, consider signing up. You'll get early access, exclusive videos and podcasts, and more. Pro Wrestling Tees has the merch. As always, thank you for watching. Thursday, December 7th, 2017. The Game Awards. Ed Boon takes the stage to present the award for Best Sports Racing Game when this happens.
Let's check out the nominees.
Best Sports Racing Game.
In classic Ed Boon fashion, we were all duped. The thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world bore witness to the world premiere of Mortal Kombat 11. Raiden, visually affected by the events of MK9 and MKX, goes to war with Scorpion. The battle is brutal, it's bloody, and there are parts of it that I have to blur nowadays because YouTube doesn't allow me to show these things much anymore. Uncensored version on patreon.com/616entertainment. Our first clue as to what sort of insanity MK11 was bringing to the table comes after Raiden's victory. He turns away from Scorpion's corpse, only to be greeted by Scorpion. And this Scorpion doesn't waste any time. Do you remember this moment? Do you remember wondering what the hell this meant? Because I do. I had no idea what exactly they were trying to tell us here. I just knew one thing. I was in. A few short weeks later, Mortal Kombat 11's reveal event fleshed out the details. This Scorpion duplicate we saw was not a clone or a long-lost Shirai Ryu clan member or anything. This was indeed the Scorpion we know and love. From another time. The main villain for MK11 would be Chronica, a titan, which is a new term we had never heard before in any of the lore, who has overseen the events of this world from the very beginning. Not only has she seen it, but she's restarted it again, and again, and again. Chronica's grasp over the sands of time allow her to reboot, reallocate, and redistribute entire eras of humanity at a moment's notice. After the events of Mortal Kombat X, where fallen Elder God Shinnok was defeated and a darkened and brutal Raiden vowed to protect Earthrealm with an iron fist, Chronica's had enough. Chronica has decided to make her presence felt, approaching the forces of evil directly, proposing that they assist her in crafting a timeline where Raiden can no longer break the balance and tilt the power too far to the side of the good guys.
I cannot create this new era alone.
That's a lot, right? And that's only the beginning. And to be extremely clear, I'm not even talking about the time control and generations issue. I'm talking about the name itself. Mortal Kombat 11? Let's take an extremely serious and not at all joking look at the naming conventions of this franchise over the last 30 plus years. Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3. Perfect, this is all good. I mean, I'm not happy about the Roman numerals and MK2 switching to decimal positional numbering in MK3, but I'll let it slide. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 is... Come on, man. I understand it's an expansion. We're getting crazy already. Mortal Kombat 4, back to business. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon versus DC Universe. The 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th installments. Not a number to be found amongst them. This drives me crazy. So let's fix it, right? Wrong. Mortal Kombat. That's it. Mortal Kombat. Then Mortal Kombat X. I get it. X is the Roman numeral for 10. We're back to Roman numerals, but we're not, really. It's not called Mortal Kombat 10. It's literally called X. So that's a mess in general. Mortal Kombat 11 is once again back to the decimal positional numbering system, and for the first time in over 20 years, we have a numbered Mortal Kombat sequel. Ah! Am I the only one who cares about this? Am I? It's possible. I'm not really mad about it. I'm just kind of having fun pointing out how ridiculous and nonsensical it all is. Hey, you want to talk about the story? We won't go play by play and cover every single event that occurs, but I do feel as though a quick overview is in order. Chronica wants to break time and erase Raiden's existence, which will allow the flow of time to play out closer to what she's looking for. We've established that. We have not established that her interference is causing sandstorms. Sorry, I mean time storms. Look, they're made out of sand. You can understand how I would make that mistake, right? These time storms are allowing past versions of the characters to waltz right into the present. Now, I realize I'm writing this in 2025, and we've all played Mortal Kombat 1 at this point, but remember, these are not other versions of these characters from other places. These two Johnny Cages are the same guy. That younger Johnny Cage will grow into this older Johnny Cage. This is his future. We don't see younger Sonya meeting present-day Sonya because... oh boy. Alright, a Special Forces team with the Thunder God as support storm the castle of Revenant Liu Kang and Kitana, rulers of the Netherrealm. Things go sideways and Sonya's trapped under rubble. There's no way out. As her last act, Sonya Blade orders her daughter and the team to evacuate to safety as she gives her life for the sake of the mission.
Mom! Mom! Our orders are to leave.
After going through what we just did with Sonya, Cassie, and Johnny in MKX, this part sucks. R.I.P. Sonya Blade, a legend. But the time storms bring Sonya back, younger, just like young Jax and young Kano. Later on, modern Kano captures young Johnny Cage, holding him hostage, and young Sonya figures out a loophole in this time travel situation. If young Kano dies, old Kano never existed. This was badass. The Shao Kahn of the past walks into the present and sees his general, Kotal, ruling as the Khan of Outworld. And that's when Shao finds out. He's dead at this point.
Vacate my throne, or I'll soak these sands with your blood.
Now, I've said many times that I would never talk about this again, but you may remember, in the history of Mortal Kombat Part 5, I made a big deal about Kotal Khan's name. I said that NetherRealm Studios should have named this character something else because they made us all believe that Kotal would be related to Shao Kahn in some way. So many comments, hundreds, if not thousands over the years, have jumped down my throat saying Khan is a title, it's not a name. Yeah, I know. Throughout history, Khan is a title. The issue is, Khan was never presented as a title here in Mortal Kombat. Shao Kahn was presented to us as this guy's name. He was always labeled the Emperor of Outworld. Never the Khan. It has been Emperor 100% of the time up to Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11. Go through every single piece of lore that exists up to this point, you will never find Shao being referred to as the Khan. Always the Emperor. So I was not out of line to question this whole thing. NetherRealm Studios 100% changed the way that they label the ruler right here. It wasn't about me not knowing something, just so we're clear. And now that I have cleared my name on a high scale, I will once again repeat that I'm never going to talk on this again, and I don't want to take no phone calls. Moving on. And what's really great is, when it's all said and done, young Kitana drops Shao Kahn like a sack of Drahman's doo-doo, and now she's Kitana Khan. How about it? And speaking of young Kitana, young Liu Kang and Kung Lao, the Shaolin monks in the flesh, take down their revenant future selves. Kuai Liang and Hanzo Hasashi infiltrate the base where the cyber initiative is underway. There's some great shit here, but later on, Hanzo comes face to face with his younger self. A younger self that still went by the name of Scorpion. A version of himself who hasn't yet put the past behind him. A version of himself blinded by rage and fueled by hatred. Hanzo is able to defeat his younger self and extends a hand, but that's when Devora strikes.
Harumi and Satoshi were stolen from me. Murdered. Seeing them again is all that matters. We share this pain. I fought through hell to end it. But Chronica's new era is not the remedy. She would resurrect Shinnok, the same devil who brought death to our family and clan. He cannot be allowed to return. Poison.
With Kittian venom running through his veins, Hanzo shows his younger self the way and breathes his final breath. Oh man, this got to me. That's Hanzo, man. How could he die? That's our boy. Ugh. Fast forward, Scorpion keeps his promise to Hanzo. He delivers the information to Raiden on where Chronica's time fortress lies. But Raiden ain't trying to hear from this imposter. Who is this guy? This isn't the Hanzo Hasashi he knows and trusts. Throughout this entire story, Raiden, who was transformed out of his older, darker self during the time storm, has been struggling to come to terms with his future, that he goes on to become an authoritarian tyrant. But in this moment, faced with the death of one of his greatest allies, he snaps.
Raiden, stop this!
But before Dark Raiden can fully emerge once again, before Raiden kills Liu Kang where he stands, he realizes he's done this before, hundreds of times. Unshackled from the grip of the medallion, Raiden and his Earthrealm warriors regroup and relaunch the final attack on Chronica's fortress. Realizing the role he always plays in the flow of time, Raiden flips the script. He merges his essence with Revenant Liu Kang, not only cleansing Liu's tainted soul, but ascending him to godhood. The all-out assault is underway. It's chaos, it's carnage, it's extreme. Fire God Liu Kang ain't taking no shit from nobody. He cleans Cetrion, he shatters Chronica to pieces, and the war is over. The only thing is, Chronica took us back to the dawn of time before this fight started. The slate is wiped clean. Nothing we know has ever happened. With a now mortal Raiden by his side, Fire God Liu Kang vows to oversee the dawn of the new era. I don't know about you, but I thought Mortal Kombat 11's story mode was awesome. I was definitely wary of a third straight story that included time travel and time manipulation, but ending things where we do, at the dawn of time, at the beginning of all things, it felt huge. The potential felt limitless. Now, we know Aftermath came along and expanded this story, but before jumping straight into more story, what do you say we talk about the gameplay and features and modes a little bit? Let's do that. Gameplay-wise, MK11 is heavier than MKX. I always felt like everybody in X felt a little bit weightless, just kind of popping around, you know? 11 has more heft to it across the board, especially with the tanky fighters. Some of these big behemoths feel like you're playing as Andre the Giant out here, which lends a ton of variety to the look and feel. The reintroduction of brutalities, now executable out of the blue as modified versions of standard moves rather than a post-fight combination, means anything can happen at any time. When it comes to fatalities, and again, sorry YouTube audience, but this section is kind of pretty much entirely for the Patreon crowd. Don't blame me, it's not up to me. I think these are some of the most abhorrent and grotesque fatalities in franchise history, bar none. This was the new level, there's no question about it. Is there something to be said about the X-ray moves of MK9 and X being removed in favor of fatal blows? Sure there is. Fatal blows can only be popped when you're in the danger zone, and you can only hit them once per fight. These are really cool, but they're pretty long, man. Some of these are upwards of like 10 to 15 seconds apiece, which, at this point, what's the difference between this and a fatality? One of the main reasons I never fully connected with Mortal Kombat X was the implementation of the variation system. Not just being able to play as Sub-Zero, but selecting him and seeing that there are all these different versions with different looks and they have different movesets. It was too much. I had been playing Mortal Kombat since the beginning, and honestly, I found this intimidating and just not interesting. I hated how sometimes the best moves were connected to the ugliest attire, and look, shut up, it's gone. For the most part, Mortal Kombat 11 gives the keys to the player. Do you want to make moveset variations? You can if you want. More importantly, how do you want your fighters to look? Every member of the roster has 3 distinct pieces of gear to customize. Customize with a K. Be it Scorpion's mask, Sub-Zero's ice axe, Liu Kang's gauntlets or wraps, so on and so forth. These visual adjustments can be mixed and matched to your heart's content. Content with a K. And that's before selecting a palette. What sort of colors are you looking for, huh? How the hell do you want to stroll into battle? This system was pulled straight from Injustice 2, and for some, the same complaints carried over. Having to fight, and grind to unlock pieces for each fighter, or earn coins to spend in the Krypt to open chests which may or may not contain a piece of gear. Not many players were into this system. I understand the annoyance. It would be nice to be able to target something specific or save up for that specific item, and that's just not an option here. Many gamers complained about microtransactions regarding the in-game currency, and this is one area where I will pull a page out of my buddy Colin Moriarty's book and issue a firm stand down. I've played Mortal Kombat 11 for about 100 hours. I've never paid for this currency in my life. I don't even know what it is. I don't know how to get it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know what it does. If you're paying for this and complaining about it, that's on you. Maybe stop buying into this stuff and your games will stop being full of it. Anyway, I appreciate the customization. I made my own edits, but I can't say I'm pleased overall with the variety. There are sometimes 100 palette options per fighter, but many of them are nearly identical. And even when they're not identical, who wants a pink or purple Sub-Zero? I have no problem with those colors, but it just makes him look like rain. Why would I want a palette swap ninja to wear the color of another palette swap ninja? Is anyone out there doing this? Let me know. If you're running a green Scorpion or a yellow Rain, I gotta think something's wrong with you. I mentioned the Krypt there, and holy shit, Dan. MK11's Krypt is so cool. We play as this Yahoo walking around Shang Tsung's abandoned island. It's all here. Walking up on the warrior shrine will leave a longtime fan's jaw on the floor. Descending into Goro's lair and finding the Shokan Prince's decayed corpse, still holding his throne. Goodness me. For nearly 20 years at this point, the Krypt had always been full of surprises, and in MK11's case, nothing had changed.
I would have thought you smarter.
My favorite part, personally, was not only seeing the pit off in the distance, but being able to walk across it myself. Oh my god, man. If there was a VR game where I could walk around Mortal Kombat stages, I would finally buy a VR headset of some kind. I love the pit. I love it enough to do this. I'll see you in 2 weeks. How you doing? The Krypt is fantastic. The only thing I don't like about it, and it's probably the only thing you don't like about it, is how badly it makes me want a game like this. Third person, over the shoulder, in the Mortal Kombat universe, traversing these stages. Goodness gracious. We've been dying for a Shaolin Monks sequel, remake, remaster, even a straight port for 20 full years now. 20 years, and it still hasn't happened. God, I love Shaolin Monks so much, maybe I'll do a brand new review of Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks this season on Mortal Kombat Monday. What do you think about that? Speaking of Shaolin Monks, it is no coincidence that the chapters Shaolin Monks and Fire and Ice come one right after the other. This is cold, Dan Dans. This is low. For those unaware, Fire and Ice was the subtitle of the Shaolin Monks sequel that was cancelled in 2006. They're just kicking us while we're down at this point. I often think about this, where Ed Boon responded to a tweet containing fan art of a 2D beat-em-up in the MK universe, and Ed insinuated that there are millions of things that we don't know about. Ed, just tell the fucking stories. If these ideas are never gonna come to pass or they were shit-canned, who cares? Tell us the stories, Ed! I'll tell you a story of upheaval, rejection, and complaining. Over what? Over UFC and WWE star Ronda Rousey playing the part of Sonya Blade. Were these complaints centered around some of the stupid things Ronda had said over the years? Maybe some of it. Was it about her being famous? Like, we don't need you celebrities in our MK, get out of here. Possibly. But I think, more than anything, fans weren't happy with her performance in the role. Ronda Rousey was, for years, attached to the Roadhouse reboot movie. She was set to star in that picture. That version of the film languished in development hell for years before being all but canceled. And when it eventually did release, Ronda was not in it. Conor McGregor was. And his performance was...
Who put those fucking bikes in me way?
Anybody can complain about whatever they want. That's how it goes. I do think some of Ronda's lines are delivered terribly, but others sound fine. I think if we're gonna blame Ronda Rousey for being a bad actor, we've gotta blame whoever let her not only take, but keep the role as time went on, right? You know who was great in their role? Sylvester Stallone.
Put your faith in the Shaolin.
Like hell I'm gonna trust them.
Yes, sir, John Rambo in Mortal Kombat. You know who else killed it? Peter Weller as RoboCop.
You're here to play.
I'm cashing you out.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's face is present on the Terminator model, though he did not voice the role. But forget about that and talk to me about Keith David as Spawn.
I've encountered your kind in the past.
I'm not the first Spawn, but I'm the best.
I prefer your medieval counterparts.
These are a handful of DLC fighters added to MK11 through the Combat Pack expansion sets. Expansion sets that also cause some controversy. There are groups of players who hate these guest characters, upset that they're eating up a roster spot that could go to an actual Mortal Kombat character. I hear that. I don't really agree with it, but I hear it. I also heard the talk over the reveal of the Joker, that his appearance was apparently somehow nearly identical to the Joker from an adult film parody. There is no chance in hell this was a coincidence. It is spot on. Did they think nobody would notice? Goodness gracious. Either way, before launch, Joker's face was fixed. Did you know that he was voiced by the same guy who played the role in Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe, Injustice, and Injustice 2? Richard Epcar. Shout out. You might have known that, so how about this? Richard also voices Raiden, and he has since MK vs. DC. What a range this guy has. There was a rumor for a long time, actually, that Ash from the Evil Dead franchise was going to be in Mortal Kombat 11. It was first revealed in a supposed leak. NetherRealm themselves teased an upcoming DLC character with a chainsaw sound effect, and that never amounted to anything. Over time, Bruce Campbell himself has even spoken on it, insinuating that if it never comes to pass, just assume it was a rights issue. Speculation has run rampant for years that the Joker was never intended to be included in Mortal Kombat. And when the Ash deal fell apart, NetherRealm had to grab a character that was already under the umbrella of Warner Brothers ownership. Someone popular and somebody who might fit into the world of Mortal Kombat. Insert the Joker. I'm not claiming to be connected. I'm not personally confirming this is true. I don't know anything. But all the signs are there that this could be exactly what happened. So we never got Ash Williams, but we did get Lyndon Ashby as Johnny Cage, Christopher Lambert as Raiden, and Bridget Wilson as Sonya Blade, straight out of the 1995 film. Not only were their faces scanned and outfits faithfully recreated, all three stepped into the booth to record brand new voiceovers.
You are begging to be punched in the face.
No, not the face.
Reverse psychology at its best.
I am grateful that you saved my life.
So why fight me, Grandmaster?
To find out whether you are dark or light.
Round one, fight!
These movie star returns were amazing for a longtime fan like myself. A longtime fan who unapologetically loves the 1995 film and has probably seen it over 150 times over the years. But Johnny Cage, Raiden, and Sonya Blade were not the only movie star returns we would see from that film. In Aftermath, Mortal Kombat 11's story mode expansion, Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa is back as Shang Tsung. And oh my god, does he absolutely nail it. Seriously, it gives me chills seeing and hearing him in this role again. He hasn't lost a step.
In defeating Chronica, you destroyed her crown. Without it, you can't restart history.
So what the hell is going on here in Aftermath? Where did Shang Tsung come from? Why are Nightwolf and Fujin, who are also DLC expansion fighters, working with him? Well, Shang Tsung used to work for Chronica. Chronica banished this trio of warriors to a place beyond time for refusing to help her. Chronica's death freed them, and they're here to tell Liu Kang that he fucked up. In shattering Chronica, he destroyed her crown. We're all the way back at the beginning of time, but no new era can be constructed without that crown. So Shang Tsung makes his pitch to send him back. He will steal the crown before Chronica ever gets her hands on it. This sounds risky and Raiden doesn't trust him, leading to one of the hardest lines in Mortal Kombat history.
Why are we listening to this snake?
Because I am a snake who's toiled beside Chronica, learning her secrets. I know them. Do you?
Come on, man. And they go for it. The plan does not go off without a hitch. The trio gets sent back further than they were supposed to, and now we've got an adventure on our hands. Shang Tsung resurrects Sindel from her revenant form, and in short order, it is revealed that Sindel is not what she appears to be. She is not what we've always thought she was. Sindel wasn't brainwashed by Shao Kahn and forced into a marriage with him. Sindel is a heel through and through. She killed King Jared, Kitana's father, and handed the throne to Shao Kahn. Holy shit, you thought the Ronda Rousey complaining was something? The amount of vitriol that came out of this situation put that to shame, which is interesting. It should probably be studied where people's priorities really lie. I have long stated that I think this is cool. Every appearance of Sindel for 24 years up to this point portrayed her as a brainwashed victim owned by an evil man. To have a Mortal Kombat in a separate timeline, which this is, make no mistake, Mortal Kombat 11 takes place after the Mortal Kombat 9 shenanigans. To take a character like Sindel and give her something brand new to do, something we've never seen her do before, I think it's interesting. She's not the victim of an evil man. She is an evil woman to the core. The first time Sindel shows any semblance of agency, and there's a whole swath of people who preferred when she was just the tool of some evil king. I don't know, man. If you want to do the same exact thing with every character every time we see them forever, have fun with that, I guess. I popped for the change. When that scene came up of Sindel holding her weird purple prism cell phone thing talking to Shang Tsung and the jig was up, I was like, oh my god, you bitch. They got me. It worked for me. Shang Tsung has Sindel heal the wounded Shao Kahn and wage war in the background. And wage war they do, taking out the vast majority of Earthrealm's forces. This was something I had asked for literally for years. Since MK9, really. I was dying for the chance to control the bad guys in the story mode. And with Aftermath, we're finally able to play as the heels. Seeing Shao Kahn and Sindel at full strength, leading an army, this shit rules. And just when it looks like things can't get worse,
your lies are revealed, sorcerer.
You should be more vigilant, Fujin. Chronica was wise to banish me.
Shang Tsung siphons the power from Raiden and Fujin, and he, Sindel, and Shao Kahn storm Chronica's keep. They wreck shop, and when Chronica is vulnerable, Shang Tsung betrays his partners, killing them both by taking their souls. In due time, Shang Tsung defeats Chronica, and that's when the Fire God arrives. 3 decades, 2 foes, 1 last showdown at the dawn of time. And guess what? The game lets you decide which way it goes. Playing as Shang Tsung rules over all things as the Prime Titan, but that's not canon, so whatever. Playing as Liu Kang sees Shang Tsung defeated. Liu Kang obtains the crown and the new era truly begins. Where? Oh, how about the very start of the lore? Liu Kang arrives at the doorstep of the great Kung Lao, the man who would go on to be Earthrealm's longtime champion, winning tournament after tournament, keeping Outworld at bay. This is the new era, and this means that literally nothing we've ever played before has occurred. Truly an unbelievable reveal. I couldn't believe this. It really had me wondering what the hell NetherRealm were going to do next. In the great Kung Lao's time, there is no Scorpion. There's no Sub-Zero, there's no Johnny Cage. These are characters that won't exist for generations to come. Surely NetherRealm Studios will stick to their guns here, right? Surely after a reveal of this magnitude, NetherRealm will commit to telling this fully original story, right? Maybe I'll talk about that next week. How you doing? All in all, I think the Aftermath expansion was awesome. The story was great, getting Kari-Hiroyuki Tagawa back as Shang Tsung and seeing him really be the king of the bad guys again. I loved it. I was blown away by the great Kung Lao reveal, and being legitimately floored isn't something that happens to me very often. So I was all in. And it's worth noting that Aftermath wasn't just a story expansion. Several new fighters outside of our starring trio made their way into the game. Rain makes his first playable appearance since MK9, And Melina made her return as well, to the delight of many an annoying Twitter user. Seriously, I understand crossing your fingers for your favorite fighter to show up, but Mortal Kombat fans are ungodly annoying, dude. Ask me how I know. No, I didn't forget about Shiva. I know she's here too. Delete your comment. I've somehow gone this long without talking about the big three debuting playable characters in Mortal Kombat 11. There's the Elder God, Cetrion. Daughter of Chronica and sister of Shinnok, Cetrion is the goddess of nature and life, though she'll undoubtedly serve up some gruesome death if you're talking wrong. Garrus may look like a human being, but he isn't. Garrus is a servant of Chronica's own design. He is a construct. His existence is merely to carry out her will. With every death and rebirth, he grows stronger, which is such an awesome problem for a heel to pose. The Collector is the longtime servant and banker of Shao Kahn, who we have somehow never heard of before. He belongs to a race called the Naknada. He's got 6 arms, and that is awesome. Also packed into Aftermath was the return of stage fatalities, all of which I will show you right now, because who doesn't love a good stage fatality?
Fatality. Fatality.
The Retrocade Arena with the interactive projectors that shoot old school Mortal Kombat stages on the screen, with the original music playing in the background. Man, this is so cool. I love when Mortal Kombat pays tribute to itself. I'll never get tired of it. Ed Boon called Mortal Kombat 11 the end of the saga that began with Mortal Kombat 9. And that makes sense, because MK9 was the game that introduced time travel. They were in a situation where they had backed themselves into a corner with Armageddon, and they needed a way out. So starting the timeline over and fast-tracking it, this was their reset button. Mortal Kombat X picked up from MK9 and paved a new way forward. Mortal Kombat 11, by opening up time and bringing in alternates, younger versions of existing characters, NetherRealm had muddied the playing field already. What in the hell were they supposed to do now? Inside of 3 games, from a storytelling standpoint, they'd backed themselves into a corner again. Mortal Kombat 11 indeed marks the end of a saga, and in many ways, the end of an era. Mortal Kombat 9, every time I play it, flashes me back to a moment in time. I remember going to the midnight release at GameStop. There was a kiosk set up with a playable demo, and I'm far from the best player in the world, but I went undefeated that night. 5-0. I wrecked everyone who dared step to my Sub-Zero. Now, had I been practicing at home because the demo was also uploaded to the PlayStation Network? Yeah, big time. But that's the name of the game. I had a training camp. I was in fighting shape. I got my copy and went home and played through the story mode in one sitting. I didn't even mean to. I just couldn't stop myself. I was absolutely enthralled. 6 years later, Mortal Kombat X would arrive. Midnight releases weren't really the big thing anymore, but I got my copy and I played through the story mode in one sitting. It was on this day I realized that a tradition was born. Fast forward another 4 years to the release of Mortal Kombat 11. Yes, I bought it, and yes, I plowed through the story mode, day 1, in my first sitting. Mortal Kombat 11 reviewed beautifully. Despite the handful of complaints many fans levied at the game regarding casting and microtransactions and the like, MK11 quickly became the best-selling entry in the entire franchise, standing at over 15 million copies sold. It's really crazy to look back on how much has changed over the course of this saga, you know? There was no way I could have known that I would be experiencing the final years of my dad's life from inside this 9-year span. Never in a million years would I have expected to meet the love of my life. I never could have guessed that I would have adopted the best friend I've ever had, the one and only Patches Lugosi. And I really don't think I ever could have imagined that I was going to be able to live out my dream of making videos like this for a living. Nothing is forever. The beautiful Tara Darcy and I are still happy and healthy, but my dad's been gone almost 10 years now. Patches Lugosi cashed in his chips and retired on the beach wearing his handsome Hawaiian shirt. And I have no intentions of ceasing my creative operations. You're stuck with me because this is what I love to do. But with our country and economy being in the shape it's in, with no solution in sight as far as I can tell, I've got to do more. I'm looking at jobs. I got to try to find something suitable to supplement my income on top of all of this that I do here. It feels like only yesterday that I was finishing part 5 of the history of Mortal Kombat, just beginning my journey into being something of a success at this whole YouTube thing. Now, here I am, 8 years later. I achieved my goal of earning 100,000 subscribers. I've got the plaque hanging on the wall. I've got tens of thousands of you who watch this channel regularly. I've got hundreds of you who support me, both here under channel memberships and over on Patreon. You guys make all of this possible. Because of you guys, I am more successful than I've ever been, and it's still not enough. My oh my, how the time sure flies. Here's to the saga, here's to Mortal Kombat, and here's to the new era. And by that, I don't mean the games. I'm not talking about MK1. I mean our new era. You and I. My dad continues to live on as I repeat the ridiculous things he used to say and I tell his stories. Patches Lugosi appears at the end of every video on this channel, and the beautiful Tara Darcy and I feel that, from beyond, Patch helped us pick out his little sister, Panda Bear Karloff. 7 years after the launch of the history of Mortal Kombat, this very video marks the start of a brand new season of Mortal Kombat Monday. My oh my, how the time sure flies? Yeah, I guess it does. Like shadows in front of the moon, let's make sure we keep flying with it. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, there it is, Dan's The History of Mortal Kombat Part 7, End of an Era. If this is your first video here, or maybe you're a longtime viewer and you're not signed up to the Patreon, there has literally never been a better time to do it. Now that I've brought back Mortal Kombat Monday for a brand new season, which, yes, if you could not tell, this is the Season 5 premiere of Mortal Kombat Monday. Surprise. I'm not really allowed to show the level of violence here on YouTube that I used to be. I have to blur a lot of it out, as you can tell. Over on Patreon, I don't have to do that. I wish I didn't have to do it at all, but these are YouTube's rules, and I have to play by the rules, or there's not going to be a channel for you guys to watch. And to be clear, the Mortal Kombat Monday uncensored videos are not locked behind like a high paywall. The lowest level membership you can sign up for is $2 a month. $2 a month unlocks everything. Literally everything there is on Patreon. The podcast, Mortal Kombat Monday, Monday Night Blitz 3, GM Showdown Season 3, which is on its way, it's in production. All of those things you can access by signing up at the lowest level. They're not tiered out and I'm trying to get you to pay for all of these different things. It's whatever level you choose. If you've been here since 2018, you've been watching since the history of Mortal Kombat first kicked off, thank you so much for sticking around. If this is your first 616 Entertainment video, look, stay a while and check things out. I promise you, you just found one of your new favorite channels. Sincerely, thank you all so much for watching. I feel very fortunate to have all of you in my corner. And until next time, I love ya, and I will see you soon.